because we need to make sure that Miss Cynthia can also vote and there's no machine at her station.
You gotta wait for the red light to be on.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening. I'd like to call the Soltrans Public Advisory Committee meeting to order. Are there any members who have a statement of conflict? Okay. Madam Clerk, will you please confirm a quorum?
Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, let's move to the approval of the agenda. Unless there are any amendments, I move for the approval of the agenda.
Second.
All right. Oh, so I have to add, okay, thank you. Can I have a vote? Ayes and noes? Ayes?
I'm sorry, I'm incorrect.
Oh.
You're just
Yeah.
fine. Does
Okay,
not
yeah, I
require a
didn't
vote.
see a vote, but okay, well, thank you. So hearing none, the agenda is approved. Okay. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on any matter not on the agenda, but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Soltrans PAC. The Soltrans Public Advisory Committee welcomes public comments on matters within our jurisdiction and authority, but strongly denounces hate speech, obscenity, and disruptive behavior in meetings. Disruptive individuals will be admonished and removed from the meeting pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.95. We ask members of the public to ensure their remarks are within the jurisdiction of this committee and to refrain from making hateful or obscene comments. Manny, will you please start our sign-up clock for public comment? Thank you so much. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, will you read the public comment notice?
Thank you, Chair Burnett. Members of the public wishing to speak may sign up at the kiosk in the back of the council chamber. Public attendees via Zoom may click the raise hand icon, and those attending by phone may press *9. After the 2-minute sign-up period, in-person speakers will be called to the microphone in registration order, followed by those wishing to comment via Zoom or phone.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Manny. Manny, do we have any persons wishing to provide public comment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Currently, we do not have any members of the public who have signed up either in the council chambers or any members online.
Okay. Thank you so much, Manny. Okay, I guess we'll move on to the action items. The first item is action item 5A, which is the System-Wide Comprehensive Operational Analysis, the COA, revised concepts. And we're going to ask Ms. Mandy Renshaw to please provide a presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chair, members of the Public Advisory Committee. So I'm here today to bring the final revised route concepts to you. In April, we brought to the Public Advisory Committee the concepts right after we released them to the public for public comment. This is, today I'm going to be presenting a summary of what we heard from the public and then what we did to revise the routes based on stakeholder feedback, public comment, your feedback, and then I'll open it up for questions and comments based on those revisions, and then that will be taken to the board in September, a final revised plan so that we could execute it and start those the service change planning. These revisions won't go into effect should they be approved by the board until August 2026. We need a lot of time to redo bus stops and routing, and then most importantly, getting the public aware of these major changes. Next slide, Manny. One back, Manny. That's okay. So I just want to remind everyone what the goal of the comprehensive operational analysis is. It is to redesign our local and Solano Express network to better balance efficiency, equity, and coverage with a cost-neutral budget. Cost-neutral should be underlined, bold, and italicized. We have no additional resources, and we've brought to you and to the board the impending fiscal cliff. So we don't have extra funding to expand service. This whole plan looks at what we currently have and the budget we currently have, the buses we currently have, the operators we currently have, and redesigning the system to better align with how people are moving now and how our city has changed post-pandemic. So that's what this plan is in a cost-neutral budget. And just as a reminder, we brought this plan, this idea, this analysis started with the board in July of 2023 when they asked staff to do analysis of the system to better adapt to post-pandemic and to align with MTC's Blue Ribbon Task Force, which told the transit agencies of the Bay Area to find ways to improve ridership and system sustainability in light of a looming fiscal cliff. So we have to clean up our services if we want to ask for any additional funding should our fiscal cliff come closer than we are prepared for. So this is us doing that. All right, so we kicked off our public comment period with 2 stakeholder meetings. One was in Vallejo and one was in a little bit later in the public comment period time in Vacaville. These were not public meetings, they were invited meetings with stakeholders from the cities, from school districts, from Solano Transportation Authority, major businesses, healthcare services. It was an opportunity for us to talk in more of an intimate setting, to talk about the concepts and how they felt about them, and then those people could talk on behalf of their constituents. We also hosted a stakeholder meeting before the public comment period, before we even drafted the plan. And that was to get the same attendees to give us feedback on where we have transit gaps, what's not working now, what are opportunities for the future. So we had already had that stakeholder meeting. The draft concepts were based on information we received in there. And then we had these 2 additional stakeholder meetings to talk about the draft concepts and get their feedback. On top of that, we did 80 hours of outreach in the public. We went to farmers markets, we held our own outreach meetings in the early morning to talk to riders. In the evenings, on weekends, we wanted to be able to talk to riders, we wanted to be able to talk to non-riders, we wanted to get as much feedback as possible on these concepts. So we talked to just over 1,000 people and we received just under 500 surveys. On top of that, there were 36 on board the bus outreach where we talked to people that were actually riding the system and encouraged them to provide feedback to our surveys. So what did we hear? We got about 750 or 765 individual comments. That was including feedback we received in the public outreach period. Maybe those people gave us feedback but didn't provide a survey. So about half of the surveys we received were Solano Express only, 34% was just their local system, and then 15% were people riding both the Solano Express, provided comments for both Solano Express and the local system. Majority of the feedback we received were from current riders, where the system, as it is designed, as it is scheduled, works for their schedules. So majority of the feedback we received, if it was going to affect their travel pattern negatively, they had negative feedback about our concepts. But we did receive some feedback from people who don't currently ride the system, but would ride the system should we make these concepts go forward. All right, so we analyzed all of the feedback we received, and we broke it down into 3 different categories. A negative feedback means they did not like the concept as we proposed it. That's red on your chart in front of you. Green is positive feedback. They did like the concept as it was proposed. And yellow is neutral. It didn't affect their travel pattern or they didn't really care either way. That was the feedback we received. So the plan with our partners, our consultants at Jarrett Walker and Associates, we looked at the highest negative feedback we received, which was on the Route 4, the Route 5, the Route 8, the blue line, and the green line. And we revised our plan based on the feedback we received from those, from the public comment period. So, the Route 4, a summary of comments really concentrated. The majority of our negative feedback, besides the Route 8, was on the Route 4. And it really concentrated on the concept was to eliminate the Route 4 coverage based on ridership, based on how we did the new system map, that everything would be a 10-minute walking distance. You all had feedback about the Route 4 and the places that it touches, which is the Sutter Hospital, the courthouse, and the social services. And that walk is a little bit too much for the people that need to access that, those resources. So a lot of feedback was about the route alignment. The proposal was to eliminate it, and the coverage, the places that it touches, was negatively. We received negative comment on that those resources would not be available. The next one was the Route 5, the same thing. The proposal for the Route 5 was to eliminate the route. We got a lot of feedback about the Route 5 and that Federal Terrace area and the school that's up there, and that those resources and that access to that needs to be considered in our revised plan. And then the Route 8, the same thing. The Route 8, the concept was to eliminate the Route 8 and move resources onto the Route 3 that would cover portions of the Route 8. The feedback was that the coverage and the access that people along that corridor would need that service, and so that was negatively perceived. The blue line, the concept for the blue line was to reroute the terminus from Walnut Creek BART to North Concord BART, and then remove the segment. The blue line has 2 trips that serves Davis in the morning and 2 trips that serves Davis in the PM, and take that segment away due to really low ridership and that it's not a quality service. It only works for if you are trying to reach Davis in that early morning or leave in that mid-afternoon evening trip. So we would reallocate those resources into the midday on the blue line between Vacaville and Fairfield, where right now that is a gap in service. So the majority of our feedback we received was in about Davis and removing that segment from the route. And then there were a subset of people that did not like moving the terminus from Walnut Creek BART to Concord BART. Majority of the riders that we talked to and that gave us feedback, Walnut Creek was their final destination, and they didn't transfer on to BART. And so that now, if we moved the terminus on the blue line to Concord, North Concord, they now would have to add another transit transfer and element to their travel. So we received 141 negative comments about the blue line, but I did want to pull out. While we did receive negative comments, next slide please, Manny, we did receive 93 positive comments about the blue line. A lot of the outreach that we did at Walnut Creek BART, at Fairfield, and in Vacaville, there was a number of of riders that use that to transfer onto BART and travel backwards, and Concord is their final destination. So about more than half of the negative comments we received were positive comments about asking us, yes, Concord would be a great option, or I'm transferring onto BART anyways, I'm happy to take a shorter bus trip to then just have a longer BART trip, or I could get on and have a seat at North Concord BART. Yes, Dan?
I'm sorry, Mandy, I'm not sure how a positive comment is a negative comment is a positive comment. Could you explain that again?
We received 141 negative comments about the Blue Line.
Yeah.
We received 93
90
positive comments.
Right.
Separate. Altogether,
Okay.
93 plus 141 together were the comments we received about the Blue Line.
Right, 234. Okay, all right. Just
Sorry. I'm
All right.
sorry to make that clear.
Thanks.
Your math. So typically in these surveys, you just receive all negative comments. I did really want to point out that we did receive quite a bit of positive comments about the Blue Line. And we'll get to the Yellow Line a little bit later. All right, and the last one that received the most negative comment was the Green Line. The proposed concept for the Green Line was to merge the resources with the Red Line and increase the frequency on the Red Line between Fairfield and Vallejo and El Cerrito del Norte BART. I think in our early outreach, and I take full responsibility, that the perception was that the Green Line was going away and that there wasn't going to be another option. So we did quite a bit of outreach at FTC and El Cerrito del Norte BART and on the Red Line and the Green Line to make sure that it was understood that we weren't just eliminating a route and there wasn't going to be an option, that the Red Line was going to come more frequently. But a lot of the negative feedback was the alignment. A lot of the Green Line riders liked that express service. That trip is shorter by merging with the Red Line. Now their travel is a little bit longer, having to traverse through Vallejo. And then there was a lot of concern of capacity at those peak hours when the Red Line and the Green Line currently both come together. Those buses are quite full, and if we take the Green Line away and we're merging the resources, are we going to have a capacity issue, and then are we leaving people behind? And that totally goes against what we want to do with the COA. So that we had 149 negative comments associated to the Green Line. But we did have 22 positive, neutral comments about the Green Line. The major comment we received back from Green Line riders and was at FTC that now there would, with the increased frequency on the Red Line, there would be an opportunity for Blue Line and Red Line to make a transfer. Right now, the Red Line leaves right before the Blue Line gets there. They're timed with BART. So if you wanted to go from Vacaville or Dixon to Vallejo, you'd have quite a bit of a wait at FTC. And so with that increased frequency, your wait now, and we would work to make sure that that transfer would be clean. You now have this transfer and this now connected ability to get to Vallejo. So we did get some positive feedback about that opportunity. Okay, so everything we heard, what does the revised plan look like? So I'm going to go through every single route. I think what we'll do is I'll go through the local service first. I guess I defer to you. Do you want to go route by route, give your comments for each route? And then I just worry about our timing. I'm going to talk a lot today, and I'm already starting to lose my voice. Maybe we go through the local service, and you jot down your notes, and then we'll discuss the local service, and then I'll talk about the express system. Sound good? Okay. So the concept for the Route 1 was to merge the Route 1 and 2 together and combine this loop, bi-directional loop. So now you have, very similar to the current 7A and 7B, two options to get to Six Flags. You can go the Broadway route, or you can go the Sacramento route, and then we would serve both sides of the street. We didn't receive much negative feedback about this. I think having two options to get to Six Flags every hour is a great resource and helps one of our biggest jobs employers in Vallejo. So we're going to move forward and with this proposal to the board to have the bi-directional Route 1 and 2 combined. All right. The proposal for the Route 3 is on top. The existing Route 3 is on top. Right now, it's a one-direction loop that goes 30 minutes out from the Vallejo Transit Center, goes through Curtola, and then heads back to the Vallejo Transit Center. And because it's such a short little route, it does it every 30 minutes. But if you live near Lemon Street and you need to get back to Lemon Street, you have to ride the whole route back to Vallejo Transit Center, wait for that, and then come back. So the proposal, and it looks like it got cut off there, I apologize. The proposal is to do a bi-directional route, so you could catch the route on either side of the street, and then it goes through South Vallejo and then pops up to Rosewood and Springs, and kind of connects to Hogan Middle School, and gives that South Vallejo community a direct connection. They no longer have to come to the Vallejo Transit Center and transfer, a direct connection to the shopping on Springs Road and the school there.
Question.
Can you hold it till we're done with the local system? Okay. Oh, thanks, Manny. Okay, the Route 4, the concept was to eliminate the current Route 4 based on public feedback. We have decided to bring back the Route 4, but change it up a little bit. The current Route 4 goes all the way up to Tuolumne and then down to the Sereno Transit Center. We're proposing to keep Route 4 to touch I lost my train of thought. The hospital, the courthouse, but turn off a little bit earlier and take the remaining resources we have on the Route 4 and loop through Daniels. So we're covering the most negative feedback we received about eliminating the Route 5 and getting that school and that apartment complex and the housing there. So we'll do a loop, and that also will be bi-directional. And then also gives that Route 5 people direct connection to Sereno Transit Center, which they had in the past with the current Route 5. So that is the new proposal. The Route 4 will be staying in our system. In that, there will not be Route 4 service on Sunday. It will operate Monday through Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, to keep as much resource as we could to expand the hourly service and expand the weekend service. And because a lot of those resources are not open on Sunday, the proposal is to only have that route operating Monday through Friday and Saturday. All the other routes, I should have said earlier, Route 1, the new Route 1 and the new Route 3 would be operational Monday through Sunday, so 7 days a week, and all very similar hour spans of service. Okay, the new proposed Route 6. On top is the current Route 6 and how it traverses through Georgia and Ascot Parkway. We are proposing and bringing to the board that now the Route 6 would connect with Gateway Plaza. We have done some test runs, and there is an opportunity for us to take the Route 6 and enough resources in that 60-minute headway that we can touch Solano Community College and we can turn the bus around there. When I get to the 7A and 7B, we did need to streamline those 7s to make them run within the hour to increase that frequency. So we're very excited to be working with the college and having the 6 terminate at the college and then head back out and traverse through Gateway Plaza, which was something that in the proposed plan we weren't going to do. All right, the 7A and 7B. The current one is on the left there, the streamlined version to make sure that that 7A and 7B can run in a 60-minute frequency is a little bit streamlined. But the biggest thing about the 7A and 7B is right now it's every 30 minutes you have an option, every hour you have an option to take a 7A or 7B. In this proposal, you will have an option every 30 minutes. And so the 2 routes will work together. So there'll be an opportunity to get to Gateway Plaza every 15 minutes from the Vallejo Transit Center. Very exciting, got a lot of positive feedback about that increased frequency. All right, so this is a picture of the existing local service map. And then on the next slide is what the new system would be. And those red dots there are the areas which we currently serve, and in the new system map would be discontinued to increase service, provide service all 7 days a week, and increase that frequency. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about the local service. And we
Great. I think, Dan, did you have, oh, you didn't? Okay. Did you have a question or comment? I know earlier, Cynthia? Go ahead.
So, as far as the Route 3, you said it was bi-directional, right?
The new plan, the proposal is to be bidirectional.
Okay, you also mentioned, okay, you go around, but if you need to get over there, you have to ride the whole thing all the way around. I'm working on that. But, my thing is, do you have to pay for that? If you have to go all the way around, but if you didn't know that that took place,
With the current system, yes, we don't have inter-system transfers on our, so yes, you do have to pay for each trip.
you know, my route on Sunday is on the basis of the local routes, right? Okay, so I'm thankful that I'm thankful that the yellow runs every day, but there's a lady that used to ride on paratransit that cannot on Sunday because she's, I believe, on the Route 3, and it doesn't run on Sunday. And I said, well, is there one that's close, that another bus that runs close to you that will? And it was told that she was 1.5 miles from the bus stop, but she has dialysis. So I'm like, how can we make this work?
Yeah, great. That's a great point and question. So paratransit is complementary to the local system, and we serve within the hours and the coverage of whatever's operational on that day. So if, as Cynthia said, if the Route 3 isn't operational and you live in that corridor, you don't have paratransit resources that day. Thus, why it is so important that when we're making these decisions, our paratransit service will change because now the Route 3 will be operational on Sundays.
So-
Our paratransit service will adapt to whatever is approved by the board and based on the feedback you guys give. So that will change our map, and our service span for paratransit will be complementary to what is operating whatever day of the week. Thank you, Cynthia, for bringing that up.
Oh, no problem. I'm gonna bring it up now, you know that. Okay, well, thank you. Continue.
Oh, Tom.
Thank you. The only question I had was of all the people that did the survey, was that done randomly, or did they identify themselves when they filled out the survey? And so have you been able to get the survey results back to the people that filled it out?
We haven't yet, but they did have an option. It was optional, so they could have been anonymous, but we do have the contact information for those who did provide feedback, and we will do an email blast with the revised concepts once we bring them to the board.
So will you have a chance to meet with these people in a town hall meeting setting or something like that for them to give feedback to the final survey results?
We will be doing, it'll be taken to the board in September to approve moving forward with the service change process, and then we'll do a public outreach period where we present the revised concepts to the public, and at that point, yes, they'll be able to give us feedback.
Good, thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Any more questions? Oh, yes, Cynthia. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't see. Oh, you didn't. Avery. Oh, Avery had a question. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please go ahead, Avery.
It's a comment. Sorry, I just want to thank staff for doing all the ride-alongs. That was something I had commented on early in your process. I think it's so important to get feedback from riders who don't have the time to pay attention to this type of thing, and I just really appreciate you all making the time and the effort to do that, and I think it's reflected in the number of comments that you got. So thank you.
Thank you, Avery. Any more questions or comments? Oh, yes, please. Go ahead.
So I'm seeing that the connection to Solano Community College proper is like completely cut. Is there any particular reason for that?
So the Vallejo campus?
Yeah.
So it's not on the Route 6. Manny, will you go a couple more slides? It initially wasn't a part of the Route 6 when I did this presentation, but based on some timing that we're doing, because we're starting to develop the schedules, that we do have time for that, and we've already worked with our safety team to see if it's possible to do it, and then the last part of that, I need Solano Community College to check off. So we are in initial conversations with them, but they do want to meet on campus and talk through it. So I'm hopeful. They're positive about it, but they did want to see a bus in that turnaround and see what that looks like. So that hadn't happened when I made this presentation. Good question. So the Route 6, if everything goes great, which it's looking positive, will serve Solano Community College directly. The Vallejo campus. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, Cynthia.
Okay. So you did mention that the 6 is going to remain for the Solano Community College, right?
Yes, we just need the college to
But you
prove
do
it.
know that years ago, they paid $3. They agreed to pay $3 for the students for the ride. So if it's already paid for, what's the problem?
So I don't really understand
The
that.
students have
Right.
paid
Yes, so part of the
$3 additional.
students' tuition is for free service on all the local and Solano Express service. That is correct.
Okay, well, if they paid that money, then why can that money not be allocated for that bus or find something toward that service?
Sure, great question. So, the ridership at the Vallejo campus is very minimal post-pandemic. It's not used very much. I think it's a very important destination, so our initial concept was to not serve the college based on that, and we needed to streamline the 7A and 7B, which is the current service that touches that college, to make it hourly in order to get the frequency up to every 30 minutes. So the initial concept was to, based on ridership, and if you're familiar with that area, there's not really a good place to turn a bus around. You have to traverse all the way down to Jesse Bethel. Buses can't do a U-turn. So it was very hard to streamline and figure out an option to touch the college directly. So our kind of last-ditch effort was to see if we could fit it on the 6, and we can. So we will be, as long as Solano Community College approves it, we will be serving it on the 6.
Okay, I appreciate that. Now, you had the surveys and you spoke on all the different places, but I don't hear you saying anything about the paratransit. I never got a survey from a paratransit. I never saw it on the side of the door, on the, when you come in, it's not there. And I'm like, if I wouldn't have been on the meeting if I wouldn't have been on the PAC, I wouldn't have known about it. And then you having the survey conducted, but I'm trying to figure out what happened to paratransit. Do we matter?
You do matter, yes. We could have done better in outreaching to paratransit. It was on board all the bus screens. It was on the website, but we didn't do individual rides on paratransit service. Those are scheduled, so I didn't have the staff resources to go on the individual buses. But yeah, we could have done more. I apologize.
I mean, even send out a survey. That would have been fine. But I just don't want to be slighted.
Sure,
I want
yeah.
to be put to the side like, oh, we'll get to you whenever. Because it's a lot of people that they don't know that they have a voice. And it's awful.
We'll make sure to add the paratransit into our outreach.
Okay, also, I submitted my agreement, disagreement and all that online. Where is the listings of people that, you said it was about over 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the list?
Every comment was,
people.
yep. Every comment was listed, and it was in the board packet in June. Yeah, it was presented at the June board meeting. So every single comment received, including yours.
I purposely did it through customer service, so it would be on. I gotta have it doing that. So it would be on Soltrans board, so you would see it. I got a call, but that's all. It's like, well, okay, well, we heard you. So what?
Chair, may I
voiced
speak to
my
that?
concerns about the various walk routes, and it ended there.
Well, we just finished all the analysis, and now we're presenting it, and the board received every single comment that we received. Black
Randy,
and
I know
white,
you're
every
doing a
survey
good
response.
job, but I'm saying you are one person. You know, Ron is doing a good job, and he is one person. But if nobody works together, it's not going to work out.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I'd like to speak to that. I sent in the initial email to the PAC members the link to the board report that included every comment that was collected. So that has, if you haven't seen it, it is in your email, and you can view every individual comment there, if that's what you were asking.
I did my my complaints and my suggestions and that kind of stuff on customer service.
So
And
any
so-
Yes,
feedback
that was captured.
Any feedback we received in person, any feedback that was online, any phone call, that was all transcribed and presented to the board. So while we received a little less than 500 surveys, we did receive 765 comments, and that's encompassing everything that we received.
But where does it go from there?
It was presented to the board, and then we've analyzed it to revise the concepts.
Are you asking why the suggestions that you made aren't reflected in the current?
Yes.
Well, not everybody's suggestions
I
get.
understand, but at least, you know, if you want my money, I'm paying to get here, but I'm paying to get here, or wherever I'm going, you know, and I make a suggestion, at least hear about it.
Is there any type of summary that addresses, like, okay, here are some of the suggestions that we did not take, and here's why?
Yeah, we can provide that. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Okay.
I was going to say that I was looking at a map, and the number 6 alignment, the detour that it makes at Rotary, considering the new development of the Costco and Canes that are now going to be there, is there a reason that we're detouring? I looked at the amount of time it takes to walk, and it is less than 10 minutes across the corridor to the to what is Turner Parkway. Like the neighborhood that it's serving, the detour that it makes.
I need to look at
6.
that. You're suggesting staying on Admiral Callahan
Yeah,
and not.
staying on the Admiral
We
Callahan
received a
alignment.
lot of feedback. That's pure residential area. We did serve that area, kept it on Abercallan, and we got a lot of feedback in the last COA that neighborhood felt very abandoned from transit service. I can take back to the consultants to look and review that. The plan would to be serve it on the corner of Turner, where the new Costco is going to be. There is a stop there.
Yeah,
On
I was
both
just trying
sides
to
of the
keep in
street.
mind like that 15-minute service, because if we're trying to like maximize our commercial corridor access, like, you know, new Costco would be it. There are like tons of new places are coming to that.
Yeah, I can take that back to the consultants.
Thank you so much. Ms. McDonald?
Thanks, and I'm not sure if this is the time to bring this up, and there may not even be a significant demographic that needs this service, but I just personally know a few. Are there more efficient commuter options to Benicia from Vallejo? Because I know you have to go right now all the way out to Fairfield and then ride back. But maybe I
No,
may
yeah, we have a yellow line that serves directly from VTC to through Benicia, and we're going to talk about that on the express
Thank you.
service. Yeah, and I'll explain the local portion of that during that presentation.
Thank you so much. There are no more questions or comments. Okay, thank you so much. So I just wanted to, first of all, applaud you all in terms of the number of comments and feedback. You know, with the exception, it sounds like, of the paratransit lines, it sounds like you did, you know, really go out and solicit a lot of feedback from the riders in various methods. And so, you know, I think that's great. And I was impressed by the volume of comments that you received and responses to your survey. So that's good. And it sounds like there's an important note to make sure next time to kind of dive into the paratransit as well and make sure that those voices are heard. So that's very important. I just had a question about Route 3. Is the Crotola Parkway, is that cut?
So on the proposed Route 3, the Route 3 will not touch Crotola Park and Ride. Your option to get there would be the red line or the yellow line.
Okay, the red line and yellow line. I know we'll talk about that in the express section, because I'm wondering if you're paying express prices if you're just riding that little stretch.
No, great question. So on the express service, you do have the option to tell the operator that you just are traveling locally and you will only be charged the local fare. With the caveat, not on Clipper, because Clipper 2.0 has not been released yet. So you cannot pay a local fare with your Clipper card, unfortunately, until we have that option available in the new Clipper system.
Is there an ETA on the Clipper 2.0?
The last I heard it was delayed again. There is not a ETA on that. 2 years ago.
Thank you. Okay, well, with no more questions or comments, I guess we can move on to the express discussion. Thank you so much, Mandy.
Okay, so the proposed concept for the blue line, I talked about it a little bit earlier in the public summary of public comment feedback. So the proposal was to eliminate the segment to Davis and change the terminus on the blue line from Walnut Creek BART to North Concord and Concord BART, and increase hourly frequency all day between Concord and Vacaville. The proposal is going to stay the same, but our consultants are doing an analysis on what quality service to Davis would look like. Our definition of quality service to Davis is hourly service on the blue line, so that the blue line would traverse all the way up to Davis, to Memorial Union as the terminus every hour, and they're working on that report, and it will be a part of the final report at the end, what the cost is. And then we would be presenting that to STA to see if the funding partners would want to fund that, because it is, it's about a 8 to 9% increase of the Solano Express budget. We're still working on schedules and hours and miles, so I don't have any hard numbers quite yet, but that is something that the STA board requested we bring back to them so that they could decide if they could have the funding ability to provide that service. Unfortunately, we're only going there 2 2 trips in the morning, 2 trips in the afternoon, and there's not enough resources to pull that blue line with the buses we currently have allocated to serve Davis more than that right now. Next slide, please. So the proposal was to merge the red line and green line and discontinue the green line. The feedback we received was that there was some concerns and about some capacity. So we would be, it says 2 peak period round trips. It's 4 trips, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon that we would keep on the green line where capacity is the highest, where we see the highest ridership on the red and the green, and keep those express trips. When we did our outreach to the public at El Cerrito del Norte BART and FTC and Vacaville, Sassoon Fairfield Amtrak, that the idea of keeping a couple of express trips would be a good middle ground option for those riders. And then increasing that frequency on the red line to 30-minute service during the peak morning and afternoon, and then midday service between Vallejo and El Cerrito del Norte BART would be 30 minutes all day. Okay, and the proposal for the red line, which I just kind of quickly summarized with the green line, but midday service between Vallejo Transit Center and El Cerrito del Norte BART would increase to every 30 minutes, and peak service between Fairfield and Vallejo would increase to every 30 minutes, so that you would have a 30-minute option to getting to El Cerrito del Norte BART. And then midday service to Fairfield would remain hourly as it is right now. I do want to point out that the red line is half the ridership of our whole system, so that's why you see those resources going into the red line. Also, the same thing for the 7A and 7B, that's half the ridership on the local system, thus the increase in frequency. All right, and then the yellow line. Right now, the yellow line is midday hourly service. There's gaps in service in the early morning and the late evening. We would have a consistent 60-minute frequency all day on the yellow line, and it would move with the blue line to terminate at North Concord and Concord BART, thus opening the options for connecting to Martinez, Pleasant Hill, Concord through County Connection. So we're continuing to do that proposal. And then your question of connecting Vallejo to Benicia, you can ride the yellow line, same thing for a local fare from Vallejo all the way to Benicia. You just have to let that driver know, same thing, not available on Clipper until Clipper 2.0. But you can ride locally within Benicia on the yellow line as well. And a lot of the students use that service to traverse along Military. All right, so on the express system, what is discontinuing? So the Route 82 is a pilot. That service would discontinue in the final proposal, and those resources would be shifted to increase that duplication of the mix of the red line and the BART service. So those resources would be shifted into the red line and the green line to increase the service to El Cerrito del Norte BART. And then finally, the blue line, that we would discontinue the service to Davis. Those services, the segments of Davis would be reallocated into the blue line to increase that frequency between Vacaville and Fairfield during the midday where there is no service. But the final report will have a full analysis on what that quality service would look like, and should the funding partners want to provide that service. We do have the extra bus available to provide that service. We just don't have the funding available to pay for the service. So that is the final network system, Solano Express system, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the Express system. I'm losing my voice, I'm sorry.
Yes, Dan.
Thank you. Good report, Mandy. So I was having a conversation with the Benicia mayor recently about the Soltrans service we receive, and he noted that we basically have one line. We have a couple of school bus lines, but no other local service, and we have the one express line. And I think the ridership numbers warrant that. I wish that, like the change that, the service that we're giving on the red line, that we could give 30-minute service at peaks, like we're doing with the red. But I defer to your guys' metrics that the ridership doesn't warrant it. But maybe it's on a wish list. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I would agree with that, since we do only have the one line. At least let us have it more frequent. Yeah, would be nice. Especially at peak, yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Mr. Standifer.
I'm noticing that the Sun Valley Mall stop isn't listed for Yellow Line on this map. Is that intentional or is that being cut?
Yep, so the service to Sun Valley Mall on the Yellow Line currently is in the morning. You have to go to Walnut Creek BART, transfer to the Yellow Line, because the blue and the Yellow Line interline. You have to transfer to the next Yellow Line, take that Yellow Line back to the Sun Valley Mall and DVC, and then in the afternoons, you can go to DVC and the Sun Valley Mall earlier, or first, and then the bus goes to Walnut Creek. But if you're coming home, you have to ride to Walnut Creek, transfer to the other Yellow Line to come back to Benicia. So the main reason for going to Concord BART is that there's a 15-minute service to DVC and Sun Valley Mall from the Concord BART station, which gives you unlimited transfers. When the Yellow Line ends there, you could transfer onto BART, or you could transfer onto their local system, which would provide way better service than how we currently are serving it. Great question.
Thank you.
Are you talking about Contra Costa transit? You would hop a bus?
County Connection, yes.
County Connection?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, any more questions? Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm learning how to use this mic.
Up.
I have a couple clarifying questions. So you mentioned the staff report says that the red line frequency would increase midday, but then in your presentation you mentioned it would also increase during peak hours between certain stops. Can you clarify?
Yep.
Because I'm also worried about the capacity. Like, I've ridden the red line in its existing condition where like 10 people didn't get on the bus during peak hours because it was full. So I'm just worried about that.
So there would be 30-minute service on the red line all day between Vallejo and El Cerrito del Norte BART.
Okay.
And then between Fairfield and El Cerrito del Norte BART, still stopping in Vallejo, there would be 30-minute service from Fairfield all the way through in the AM peak and the PM peak. So Vallejo to El Cerrito, 30-minute all day, AM peak, PM peak, Fairfield to El Cerrito del Norte BART, 30-minute service.
And when you say Fairfield, does that include the
Sassoon, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to do better at that. Yes, I do not mean to leave Sassoon out. I couple them together. Yes, the red line will still serve Sassoon Amtrak station in all of these proposals. I'm sorry.
Great.
Poor Sassoon, that little city. The same for the green line would still serve Sassoon as it does today on those 4 trips.
So I am very supportive of that change, and also I support the earlier comments about considering increased frequency on the yellow line, because when that morning peak service got reduced, I noticed a big drop in ridership. Maybe everybody's taking the super early bus. I take the 8:15 bus now, but it would be nice to have something in between. And maybe the 60-minute service will help with that. One other clarifying question, the staff report had nothing for the fiscal impact, but my understanding is that this whole COA process is really fiscally oriented, like you're trying to either be cost neutral or right-size the system given this impending budget issue. So I'm just wondering how Soltrans is assessing like what these changes would mean from a budgetary point of view.
So the whole Solano Express and local system combined, the budget, we are 2% below. This plan is 2% below the current budget, but that 2% is reserved for the Route 38, which is a school tripper that serves South Vallejo and connects to North Vallejo, Jesse Bethel, Hogan. And we are waiting to see what the district is doing in the district year 26, 27, and that route will adapt to that, and then that will pretty much be the whole budget we have. So cost neutral. We're staying within our resources. It might be a little bit below once we do the blocking and the run cutting, or maybe a little bit over, but I'm trying very hard to keep that number for Christina, our finance manager, right at what we're doing right now. So it's very, very close.
And are there assumptions embedded in that about increased ridership on certain routes?
Not at this time. The scope of work did not include any budget cuts or any budget increases.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of data and information. I think some things that we could do is increase frequency. I think what we'll have after this is a really solid system, and then any additional funding would be increasing frequency. That 1 and the 2 that touches Six Flags, it would be beautiful to increase that service to 30 minutes. The same thing with the Route 6 and the Route 3. I think those things, we just got the MTC's passenger survey, and the one thing that the public asked for the most and what was their most priority was frequency. So I think we'll have a nice foundation, and I hope that our funding situation changes, and I think that's where we would start, is just increasing frequency and then filling in gaps of coverage.
Thank you.
Thank you. Richard?
Yes, okay, good report. I'm looking at the blue line, and the blue line actually does stop in Benicia, the Benicia Park and Ride. Is there a lot of people that get on and off of that particular bus stop?
It's not. It has really low ridership. There's a handful of people that use it a day. I don't have the ridership, but I think it was between 9 and 12. It's low, but it doesn't affect the route enough to not serve that portion. And it is a link to Benicia from Vacaville, and then you could use the Benicia Lift program, which is through the Solano Transportation Authority, to connect to downtown. We did look and explore some options of connecting the industrial park to downtown, and there just isn't an easy way to do that. We were trying to make the yellow come up and connect with the blue, but that time taken, then we would lose the BART connection. So we did explore some options to have the blue and the yellow meet within Solano County, and there just wasn't, based on where that location of that park and ride is, an easy way to do it that's time sensitive.
That park and ride is right next to the industrial park?
Yeah. It's quite north of town, right off of 680.
All right, so that means there are 2 stops in Benicia, the city park and the park and ride, and there's no way to adapt the local buses for the school trippers to connect both of those, in sort of like a loop.
The school trippers connect with the yellow line on Military. To connect the blue line, it would take them really far out of town. Everything's kind of congested. The middle school and the high school, which is our major ridership, they're right close to each other. The freeway kind of cuts them in half, but they almost back right into each other. There's not a lot of residential over there, so there's not really a reason to bring the school trippers up to the industrial park.
Yeah, but people do work at the industrial park, so it is a major work center, isn't it?
It is. We met with I forget what they're called, Industrial Park.
Association.
Yes. And a lot of the people that work there have company vehicles. Their desire for transit wasn't very high that would justify the need for a local service up there. But a relationship that we have and we can monitor as the demand increases. Just not an easy way to serve that area. It takes going up the freeway or going up Lake Herman. It's just a kind of a wonky, secluded area that's not really close to the main necessities of Benicia.
And then you said, Green Line, you said you received a lot of comments on the Green Line, more negative than positive. Now, those Green Line riders, when they get off at El Cerrito del Norte in the morning, are they going more to the San Francisco side, or are they going to the Oakland side? Have they expressed that?
Yeah, majority of the people were going to the Oakland side. And so that it didn't make sense for them to take the blue line. If they were going to San Francisco, it's about the same. If they could transfer over to the blue line and have more options. It was a shorter BART trip for them. So they,
Okay.
which I totally understand. Your commute's long enough as it is. For us, even adding 6 minutes to the route, it would
Green line, okay.
it negatively impacts my day.
Yeah,
Makes
'cause I was
12
thinking
minutes longer.
Yeah, I was thinking about the green line, that the green line goes to El Cerrito del Norte, and that's express, but then I know you said you're going to cut off the 82, and I was thinking those that eventually would end up in San Francisco, if the resources were there, merge that part of the 82 that would, where it goes from past El Cerrito del Norte going towards San Francisco like the current 82 does. So you have that straight thing from, the green line extended into San Francisco if the resources were there. I'm saying that's something that you might want to look at in the future once the resources are there to resurrect that part of the 82. Would make that connection from El Cerrito to San Francisco. So it's that one thing from San Francisco straight up to Suisun Amtrak. That would be an idea to explore.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, Ms. McDonald, yes.
I was wondering if it was the will of the board, because it felt like there were several people who were interested in making a formal request to look into the yellow line having more frequency during peak hours. That's a question to the committee.
That's a motion, I'd second it.
Okay, so then
As
I'll
part
make
of
that
our
a motion.
recommendation.
I'll make that a motion.
I mean, basically, the recommendation from staff is that we receive and provide feedback, but we can certainly put a recommendation to a vote and say that it, was approved by our body.
Okay, thank you. So I'm hearing a motion.
Yes, I move to increase the frequency of the yellow line during peak hours.
Thank you. Do we have a second? We have a second, okay. It so passes. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Cynthia.
All right, I would like to know, my granddaughter lives in Vallejo, and she either has to get on the 6 o'clock bus or the 8 o'clock bus to get to Benicia High School. So she tried getting the 7 o'clock, and it never came. And I'm like, what is going on? So either her mother would have to Uber her to my house. Uber her to my house, or she just had to get on the 6 o'clock bus, and it's still dark. And I'm like, man, I just had her, we have a plan. And so she just knocked on the door, and okay, come on. One of y'all open the door. But I have to do something, because I'm not going to have her at school either early. She tried taking the 8 o'clock, and she got there 20 minutes late.
And so you're saying that the 7 o'clock trip did not show up?
Never showed up.
Do you know what day that was?
Which day? It happened frequently. And it happened enough to where she just comes over and gets on the 6 o'clock bus, because the other one just never came.
I'm gonna have Ron speak on that. We're monitoring Ms. Trips very closely.
Okay, because I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Is it possible that there isn't a 7 a.m.? Yeah, that's what
There's not a 7 a.m.
my colleagues are saying.
Why not?
That's
If they run every hour.
That's the proposal, is to have the yellow line run every hour. It
Okay,
currently does
okay.
not run every hour, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Okay.
As a point of order, are we ready to
a
vote
vote? I
on
was just
the
gonna
feedback? And is there a phrasing that you would like for any specific feedback? I think the only one I heard was specifically Ajua's motion, seconded by Cynthia, to request that the board approve increasing the yellow line frequency during peak hours.
Yes, and I
Was
think
there
we should
anything else
amend
that would be included in that feedback to the board?
I think I was hearing every half hour. Is that what we were discussing?
Your motion had Joa, but that's what I talked about initially, because that's what the red is getting.
Was there other feedback on other lines that needed to be included with that?
Should,
It would be great. I mean, I'm happy to, I would second that amendment if you want to make that amendment to the motion. I was thinking at least every hour is what I was initially envisioning, but every half an hour would be amazing. I mean, I just don't know what the capacity is, so.
right.
So
At least to
the
make it
every
every
hour is
hour.
already in the proposal? So this would just be affirming that proposal? Is that correct? Do I understand correctly?
I think the chair has an amendment to the motion.
Well, right, I was trying to clarify that it be every half hour, but if we want to just keep it open to just examine an increase in frequency beyond what's being proposed, I mean, does that sound like what we're trying to do, just examine increase in frequency in general, not get too specific?
Sure, I'm okay with it being
Okay.
general.
During peak times, during peak hours?
Okay, got it,
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, so yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Mandy, could you characterize for me what the budget impact would be of changing the yellow line to every half hour?
That would double the current budget of the yellow line.
So I mean, how much is that as a, can you come up with a number or a percentage of the budget, or?
Even talking just peak hours.
During peak hours, that would be probably 1.5. So currently, I don't have it broken down by, I have it broken down by city. So currently Benicia, which is about, on the Solano Express system, is about the majority of the yellow line. And so that is 11.8% of the budget. Or no, excuse me, 14.2% of the budget. So I would estimate, I guess they wouldn't have to connect with the blue line. Really big 20% of the budget. So I'd add another 6%. Just serving Davis all day is 8% of the budget. Maybe 4, add 4. So it would be 18% of the budget.
Is that your final answer?
No, I really don't like doing math in my head. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Peak service, I mean, if we did peak service, 30-minute service all day, it would double the current budget. It would double, that's doubling the buses. So doing it peak service, it's hard to get that number because the buses won't interline with the blue line. So I have to use resources differently and not as efficiently. So that's why I'm going to the higher end of the 20%. I would say between 4 to 6% increase of the budget for peak 30-minute service on the yellow line
Is that
all
the
day.
Solano Express budget or the yellow budget?
Solano Express budget,
Okay.
yeah.
And so, on the express routes, what percentage of those routes receives federal subsidy?
Tom, give me the hard questions.
Let's say, just compare that with the local routes.
So majority of the express budget is from TDA funding. So each city puts in money for the Solano Express service. The budget is separate. I wish Christina was here. She's probably, if she's watching, she's yelling at the camera. So each city has a percentage based on the ridership that they put into the system. I don't know, Tom, but I totally could come back to you with that answer.
Well, it'd be interesting to understand that so that we could get a better
Yes.
feel for the financial impact of that
Yes, yeah.
recommendation.
Angel, is that part of the orientation packet that they received, how the budget works for the different routes and stuff like that, that can maybe send to the members again, possibly?
That's not part of the orientation packet, but we could probably get something
I
like
do
that
have
to
a
the
slide
members.
that we've presented to the STA board and the Soltrans board that I could send to Angel that breaks down, there's bridge tolls involved, there's TDA funding involved, and there's the funding from each of the cities. I can give you that breakdown.
So, yeah, and rather than, put you on the spot and have you, trying to do the math in your head, I know that's really difficult. I mean, would it be appropriate to just ask to move this to the next committee meeting and maybe just with some more information about what that would look like?
I do need a recommendation on the revised
Right,
concepts
right.
now to take to the board.
Right.
Because it's such a major service change, we do need to get started on planning for this, planning the schedules, planning how this is going to impact, and then, most importantly, getting the public outreach starting so that people know that their service will be changing and how it will be changing. So it's going to the board in September, but I think I could get with Angel tomorrow or early next week, and it's kind of a cute slide. It just has a pie chart and how Solano Express is funded. I think that's pretty easy.
If we want to make a recommendation, we should do it before the board meeting. So I don't think it hurts to make the recommendation.
Or
So
does it?
We could make the motion as a recommendation to consider that as opposed to, what we might have said before, where we think it should be.
Well, I mean, or does it hurt, I guess?
No, I think it's important for the board to see that that's somewhere where you would like to see increased service. So it is an increase in the budget, probably not something we're going to be able to do in this service change,
right.
but that's important that the board hears that your recommendation and where you see additional resources, should we get additional resources, where you see those should be going is increasing service and connecting to Benicia and increasing that service through Benicia.
Right.
I think that's an important statement that the board should hear, and
But
that
very
the
specifically,
public-
peak hours.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe would 1 hour versus every half an hour be more likely to be?
Yeah.
We are gonna get 1 hour.
Yes, yep, every hour service would be, the proposal now is for the yellow line to be hourly. It's serve every hour. But I think it's important you are all representing the public in the cities that you come from, and if that's an important service, I think that statement needs to be, the board needs to hear that.
Okay, so do we have a motion? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Is this on this subject? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. please go
Regarding the
ahead.
red line. Since we're working out an agreement with Solano Community College for the number 6 line locally, would it be possible to extend that agreement into the Fairfield campus to get the red line to have a stop in Solano Community College proper? Instead
Great
of the
question.
15-minute walk?
We pulled the buses out for safety concerns. That's why they stop on the street and at that. I know that there is a new shuttle service that's being operated between the campuses, and I think part of that deal was that to connect students that might need that additional help between the stop that's outside on Business Center Drive into campus. I don't think that we're going to see that change, and the big buses that we operate, FAST has a smaller local bus. The big buses that we operate shouldn't really be inside a parking lot, and that's why we pulled them out 2022, I think.
Thank you. So back on the motion, I guess we should move forward to vote on the motion. It sounded like it was seconded. So can we put that to a vote, Angel?
Before you do that, you need to see if there's any public comment.
Oh, thank you. Good point. Thank you. Is there any public comment on the motion? Sorry. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Chair. Currently do not have any members of the public interested in speaking on this item.
Thank you very much, Manny. Okay. So can we put this to a vote?
So the recommendation is to receive the final report with the feedback that the PAC would like to see increased yellow frequency during peak hours at 30 minutes, budget permitting?
So,
Or would you like to restate that differently?
Yes, because I guess that's saying that that's our only comment, and I'm sorry, I had some comments too, and I don't know if maybe we might want to have like a consolidated list of comments before we say, oh, we're accepting the final report. So,
Yes.
So I would say if that's the case, let's hold off and make sure we're finished discussing everything. Thank you.
Makes sense.
Thank you so much, Angel. Madam Clerk. Okay, are there any more comments about the express route? Okay. I had a few. On the blue line, so I just want to understand, because I guess I might have misunderstood the discussion earlier about the negative comments and the positive comments regarding going to North Concord BART versus Walnut Creek. I thought there were more negative comments, but was that not accurate?
The majority of those negative comments were associated to Davis.
Oh, okay,
The
okay,
main
okay.
negative comment we received was the Davis service, and that's why I split them out so that you could see that people really were positive and had positive feedback about changing the terminus from North Concord to Concord BART.
Okay.
I didn't want that to get hidden by the excessive number of comments that negative. And I've said this at a couple of public meetings, that we do think that touching Davis is important and that we want to be able to serve Davis. We just, in this current budget and with these resources, we can't do a quality service and reach what would be something that would attract new riders if we're only serving it 2 times in the morning and 2 times in the afternoon. And the resources are better used to increase that frequency during the midday portion, where we're seeing like a lot of travel between Solano County and Concord. So that's where those resources are going.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess with this, I mean, given that there were some negative comments, and I think that's a pretty major change. I know I ride the yellow line, and so, yeah, that's a different BART that, people are going to have to utilize. So, earlier we were talking about, the question, Cynthia was asking, okay, well, what about the negative comments? What's happening with those? And so I'm wondering if this might be a good example of something where we might want to summarize, here's why we're moving this, for instance. And we did hear you, those of you who had negative comments, but we think that's overcome by X, Y, Z, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm wondering if something like that could be.
The final report is in clerical edits right now, and I think it does a great job explaining what we heard. I summarized it in my report, but I think maybe, and having those visuals of why we did receive negative comments on the blue line, but the public and private entities that we use to do replica data and see how people are traveling really outweighs what the negative comments that we heard, that we think it's an important destination to serve Concord and the opportunity to connect to that local system so that people have that 15-minute service to Sun Valley Mall, to that other Veranda Shopping Center and DVC, where huge destinations, but also huge working places that we're seeing that travel demand from Solano County, especially the North County residents moving, and their final destination is in Concord. And there's some heat maps in there that I think better explain. And I'm sorry it wasn't ready for you guys in this, but as soon as we have it, it'll be ready for the board meeting on the 18th. So I'll make sure that Angel sends that packet out to you as well, so you can review it. And then if you have additional comments, of course, we'll take them.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And then my last comment was just, about the 82. That's sad to me. I love the 82. I've ridden that 82. And so, I mean, is the thought that the red line, I mean, I liked how Richard mentioned, until it comes back. I mean, is this a temporary thing, or is it just gone forever? And is the thought that the red line truly will replace it? Or?
The rationale we heard from a lot of our stakeholders is that it's a duplicative service because the red line is going to El Cerrito, and that we're competing with BART going into the city. And it is a pilot. It's not a fully adopted route to our service, and it only costs $6. So it's costing the agency more to run that service. It is duplicative. So with that, with a feedback was received that we should be investing into the resources that people are using, and that the price point of it doesn't really reflect what it actually is to serve it. It's going out full, not quite full, but it's pretty full going out there, but it's coming back from San Francisco empty. So those are revenue service hours where a bus is completely empty that we could be investing in the system, where the red line goes out pretty full and comes back half full, and to increase that frequency and use it where riders are already riding the system. So that was that rationale. you're not the only one that is sad about it, but because it is a pilot and because it is a strain on the system, it's only a one-way service.
Okay, well, thank you. Will there be any further evaluations later, like, okay, how was that? We got rid of it. How'd you like that?
Yes,
Everybody?
yeah. Beth has said multiple times that if we get something wrong, I hope that you think that as well, that we adapt pretty quickly. That the comment we got about Redwood and how that was left out in the last COA, and floods of feedback that you cut our neighborhood off from transit service, so we put it back. I've said multiple times, and I always get kind of teary-eyed saying it, transit is only as good as the people who use it, and if we're not going to where people are going, then transit is no good. So Beth supports it. If we mess up on something, we will fix it. If we got something wrong or we made a pivot and did something and it didn't come out on paper, or it didn't come out with the community the way that it was intended to, we will adapt and we'll try to figure it out and make good with it. We have service changes every April, every January, and every August. And so we have 3 times a year to fix if we do something wrong.
Oh, that's really helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now I think we're ready to move into do the motion. So I'm sorry, after all that, would you like to repeat the motion?
Is it just the one motion?
Yes, I think so. Unless
Chair, may I, as a point of order, may I suggest, since the recommendation is to receive the final report and provide feedback to the Soltrans Board of Directors regarding the proposed network, most of the comments I've captured there, I think that the significant ones were the yellow line comment and the advertising to paratransit customers. So all of that feedback will go to the board. So as far as the motion is concerned, we could leave it as is this is the feedback that we've shared. But if you wanted to draw those out specifically, maybe you could help me with some language before the motion is made,
I mean, I like
for the motion.
I like the idea of just having the feedback, but I mean, let's see what everybody thinks of those 2 issues, the paratransit.
Including that those are priorities
Yeah,
for the Public
priorities,
Advisory
the
Committee?
paratransit and the frequency of the yellow line, but how does everybody feel? Any comments?
Well, I appreciate Angel being on the ball and remembering, the relevant ADA comment that we definitely want to make known
Yes.
as well. So I agree that those are our 2 main points. I don't think we really need to vote about it unless, there's a dissent. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
So I'll just put that in the comments because if you read the
I think
board
those are our
reports-
2, I agree that those are our 2 main concerns.
Okay.
Most main
So
concerns.
in the minutes, I'll make a note that the PAC's main concerns were those 2 items, and I'll spell those out nicely. And you'll see that when it goes to the board, you'll see it in their packet. If you notice anything that needs an edit or a change, when that comes out, send me a note, and we'll do a revised minutes with the adjustments to those minutes, if that sounds okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
But we have to have a motion anyway to
Yes.
receive that. Right, thank you so much. So, okay, so I guess there's a motion to receive the draft COA final report and provide the feedback for those 2 issues, the frequency
Well, Angel can't make a motion, but I think she's
okay,
suggesting,
okay. I'm sorry,
I
am.
okay.
But just based on what Angel said, repeating what Angel said.
Okay.
But yes, so, making a motion to, receive the draft COA final report and provide feedback on those 2 issues to the Soltrans board, which is the getting more paratransit feedback and the increase the frequency of the yellow line.
I'll second.
Oh, great, thank you. We have a second. Okay. Madam Clerk, please start the vote.
Thank you. Get my list of everyone that I had here that I went past. Ethan Standifer.
Aye.
Avery Livengood.
Aye.
Daniel Smith.
Aye.
Ginger Burnett.
Aye.
Adjua McDonald.
Aye.
Richard Burnett.
Aye.
Tom Barty.
Yes.
Cynthia Tanksley.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chair.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but my ride is outside, and Amy got me on hold, and we haven't heard Ron yet. My ride is outside,
Oh,
and Amy got me on hold, and
okay. Yes, absolutely.
Ron's here, and yeah, we ain't even heard him.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're almost finished. We're moving to the non-discussion items.
Yes, that's correct. Now, those items, you certainly may pull those for discussion. We have 5 minutes if
Okay,
you'd like
great.
to. But
Yes,
actually,
yes.
I think we kind of don't have time because we've got to be out at 7.
Yes, so I guess I'll just ask, are there any public comments on the non-discussion item, the agency update? Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, do any PAC members? First, I need to, I'm sorry, do any PAC members wish to pull the item for discussion, agency update? Yes, Richard?
No, actually,
I'm sorry.
which one is it?
Agency update, 7A.
7-ish. On here. No, I'll wait on, the next one is the one I want to,
Oh, the next one, okay.
the next one, yes, the
Thank
next
you.
one, 7B.
Thank you. Are there any more PAC members wish to discuss that item? Or pull it for discussion? Okay. Are there any public comments? Oh,
I would like to suggest that when we have like surveys of things and what people said and what they didn't say and that kind of stuff, and how much the budget is and that kind of stuff, that I believe that everything should be inclusive for us to see.
okay.
You so kind, Mandy.
Mandy, thank you. We appreciate you, all your hard work. Okay, thank you. That makes sense for sure. So Mandy, are there any public comments on this item?
No public comments on this item, Chair.
Thank you very much. Let's move to 7B, the system performance report. Do any PAC members wish to pull this item for discussion? Richard?
Yeah, just quickly, I know we're running out of time. Page 6, where it says trending ridership by mode or trending local ridership. I noticed for both fiscal year 24 and 25, there's that big dip between November and February, so obviously that would be the holiday period. You know, I guess it starts with Halloween, ends with MLK, President's Day, and all that stuff. So I take it that, you know, people have their holiday plans and they're not necessarily interested in taking public transit during that period of time.
Yeah, we've seen vacations, people take vacations, going out of town, visiting family out of areas and stuff like that. So it's we saw it as a seasonal trend.
Mm-hmm. Right, so does staff have any recommendations as far as trying to market that time of year, you know, that specific block of time between November and February as far as increasing ridership, or even in the face of the holiday and people making their plans and stuff?
So our ridership is up over the last fiscal year, but that's a seasonal trend across all transit agencies. You see a dip. If this went back to 24, 23, 22, 21, not 2020, but you would see the same seasonal dip just traditionally across all transit agencies. But the good news is even though we see a dip, it's above what we saw last year, and so ridership is increasing overall, which is exciting.
Thank you so much. Manny, are there any public comments on this item?
No speakers on this item, Chair.
Thank you so much. And with no further comments, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.